So last time when we left off, the group had just taken a long rest. They are getting their level up, so they're officially level 4 now. But as they're in the middle of this, or towards the sort of wee hours of the morning, twilight, as the sun is just about to break through and dawn, that sort of cool, crisp, dark, early light, the group sort of awakens to these yips and cackles and barks and eventually screams. As overnight, we know at the end of the last session that Drin's Keep, or formerly Drin's Keep, was getting attacked by a number of giant hyenas that had sort of come out after the smell of blood and the bodies that we sort of piled up in the last 24 hours here, thanks to Norkruth and the bounty hunter mage and their sort of detractors. So we see that outside of the keep proper, we see in the sort of like outbuildings, the homes of the people who serve Drin, those sort of peasants, the people who live around and support the estate, that their homes are being attacked by these giant hyenas, these giant hulking shadows, large as a horse, 5 of them, ramming into buildings, knocking in doors, grabbing people and dragging them out to the street. And that's what we're picking up, as Leah basically is standing at the window of her room, staring in the keep, staring out at it. And we're going to pick up, and we are going to get right into it. I've already rolled initiative, so we've already got that going for us. So we're just going to jump in, and we're going to have to figure out how long it's going to take them to get down there, because they got to get downstairs, out of the keep, and into the streets to actually attack. And we because it's in the middle of the night, that means that we're going to have problems specifically with Inbar, who will not be wearing her armor. Again, another late night fight with Inbar without her armor, which does not help us. So let me go ahead and pull this up, and let's get to it. So like I said, we already rolled initiative, and Leah actually ended up rolling well, so she is right at the top. I'll go ahead and shut this right now so you guys can see a little bit more. There you go. So we see she's right here at the top with a nice 18. And so she grabs her book and her staff, because that's really all she needs, and starts hustling down the stone steps, taking a full dash action, running at this point, passing by people. There are the few remaining of Drin's guards who weren't sort of killed by Norkruth and his ilk, and are around, and I mean there's basically just enough for them to hold the keep proper, so they are not going to be a lot of help in this fight. So we are going to zip that way. And just for our own notification, how long is it going to actually take us to get down there in rounds? I think 1d4. Okay, 3. Ugh, that is not great. All right, and then we'll do maybe like a people toll. That's very grim to see how many, because we do not have. I don't think Drin has keep has a particularly large population. We can take a look at that. I don't know if I've even recorded that. I have not. But we do know that it's going to be relatively small. We do know it's going to be under 50. I guess we could roll it real quick. We'll just do this and divide it in half. So 20, they have 20, only 27 people. We'll say that. So, you know, the longer that we stay here, the more people that are going to maybe bite the dust. And I think what we'll do is we'll probably do like, there's 5 of them, so they're going to get, there's 5 giant hyenas, so they're going to get to work fast. And these people are pretty well undefended. Almost completely at mercy of these things. So, we'll figure that out. Well, I guess we can figure that out right now, because everybody's just going to run. That's all they're going to do on their turns. So we're going to have an entire round, so that first round we're going to get through. And I think I'm going to do... I don't want to completely screw these people over. So I'm thinking like a D4 -2 for like how many people maybe just full out, just not like casually like get injured, but like full out are just dead. So after round 1, okay, so we have 1 person who's died, so that population is going to go from 27 to 26. It's not great. Okay, second round, everybody is running, and Should we do a save? No, you know, I was gonna do a save to see, like, hey, should we make sure that everybody wakes up? These guys are making a lot of noise. There's a lot of screams. These are large animals. They're breaking stuff down. It's not like it's a large city or something. There's not a lot of distance between where the PCs are starting and where the action's happening. So round 2, right? We got 3 rounds. So round 2, they're making their runs. Oh, man. This would be really nice if we'd had Rhymefire back, who has a fly speed, who could just fly there and be there in probably 1 round. But we just offloaded Rhymefire, so, I mean, what are you gonna do? Oh yeah, we have giant hyenas from last time that are attacking the village. That's what's happening. They have been pulled in by the smell of blood and dead bodies, and they have attacked in the night with a bloodlust. All right, so wait, we lost another. Wait, did I roll? I don't think I rolled. Let me roll. Okay, so we didn't lose any people in the second round. All right. I think at this point, basically, Leah and the group have sort of convened at the postern gate, which is like the little gate inside sort of the main gate. And I think we're just going to give them a roll to open it up. Usually, right, opening doors and things like that is not something you roll for in D&D, but this is a very tense situation, and if they don't get through the door, right, that means that there's potentially more people who die in the next round. So, let's do it. I think the DC is pretty minimal. Let me figure this out. Okay, well, it's definitely not that. Okay, yeah, alright, so it's like a 10 DC. We'll do that. Dexterity, I guess? I guess who gets there first? I have a sneaking suspicion it's probably Ott. Being the explorer and runner of the group. Is it Ott? We'll just ask the Oracle. Yeah, alright, so it's Ott's there. She's got a pretty good dex. Let's get a roll on it. Yeah. So she has no problem flipping over, you know, shifting the bar and kicking open the door and jumping out there. Our large gnoll companion, as she sort of growls and runs forward into the fury. And this is our last round before we get there. Okay, good. So far we've only had the 1 death, which is fantastic. It could have been way, way worse. Alright, so they're going to enter. We're going to get into it. Leah's up first. So we have our upgraded Leah. It's level 4, so it's not too much to write home about. We got her a nice little stat boost, which is nice. But otherwise, you know, there's not a ton going on. Which is both good and bad, I guess. So she is going to take a run. I assume she's probably in range for a firebolt with 120 feet. I don't think that's going to be an issue. So, and everybody else, I think the only person who may not be in range this round will be Delg, because the other 2 have longbows with very good ranges on them. All right, so she's just gonna pick one and do a firebolt. Ha-pow! Can't get any better than that right out the gate. So 2d10 fire damage. All right, 10 points of fire damage to our first giant hyena, who yelps in the night as they're trying to break down the door of one of these small sort of cottage huts, as it gets sort of blasted in the side with this firebolt and this streak of light flying through sort of that early morning twilight and hitting it, and it turns around and come after her. So she's just made herself a target, so I think she shot that and went, oh. Actually, that's a really bad idea now that I think about it. I'm the first one out here. We're gonna let Igni sit in the wings for right now, unless we really need to bring out the familiar. Delg is next. Let's ask the Oracle. Can Delg get in range for a shot? No. Okay. So Delg has to spend his action doing a full dash because he only has a sling. He doesn't have a longbow, so he has to get in range. So he's still huffing and puffing. Not that Delg is usually the most help in combat when it comes to attacks, but you know, not gonna hurt. Unfortunately, that is Giant Hyena's turn. Well, we definitely know that one is trained on Leah. Are there any others that have turned on Leah? Yep. Okay. Well, there's 4 of them. How many are turning on Leah? Yeah, so immediately she jumps onto the scene, feeling, you know, we just finished the stuff with Rhymefire. She's boosted with confidence. She has the adrenaline pumping in her veins because this is another sort of tense situation. She pulls out her staff and points it, and, you know, does her incantation, and a streak of fire flies across, crits this giant hyena in the face. She's like, ha-ha! And then they all just kind of turn towards her, and she's like, oh no! Alright. How many can get to her? All of them. Well, let's not say that. Oh, okay. Because there aren't 6, right? Okay, so just the first one can get. Everybody's got attention, but they're moving towards her. But they're not going to be able to get to her. So it's just that first one. The first one she probably hit with the firebolts is going to be able to get to her. So, and then the rest will, everybody else will sort of arrive on the scene. Probably into the melee. Alright, they have a bite. Make a little bite attack. That's not going to hit. That's 12. Alright, so it comes down. Again, remember, these giant hyenas are like the size of horses. So imagine this horse-sized toothy maw just snapping at her. And she's like, oh, God. Because we have not fought a ton of big creatures like this. So, they're pretty nasty. But that is it, fortunately, and the rest are on the way. Hopefully everybody else is on the way too. Inbar's going to show up, so we kind of determined that they can't get into melee yet, so that'll be next round. Well, because the hyenas move closer, so we'll just ask, can Inbar and Ott get in the melee if they want? Yes, okay. Which is certainly what Inbar's going to do. She's going to immediately rush up on the one that's snapping at Leah, because that's going to allow her to do her sort of special gang up. And that's what she will do. She's going to swing her big hammer. She does technically have advantage. Alright, so she definitely hits. So she gets the 2d6, and then she gets the 2d6 from gang up, and then the extra 1d8, or normal 1d8 for her warhammer. So she would have grabbed her shield for sure. So she's going to have an AC of like 14. Alright, so 14 points of damage. Not bad. Not bad. It's going to knock this down to 21. She cracks into this thing, into the side, and a snap of ribs as she hits it with a big warhammer. But again, it's like hitting a horse with a hammer, so it's a meaty beast, is what we're trying to say. It's a meaty beast. Inbar, is there anything else? Inbar doesn't really have any bonus actions. I mean, she could heal herself, but she's at full health. So I think we're good there. So we'll move on to Ott. I don't think Ott's going to get into the melee because I think she's just better at bows. Frankly, she's just better. So that's going to be. So she's going to get her. Oh, I guess I forgot to level up Ott. All right. Well, I'll have to do that later. But she would get. I would probably dump her things into dexterity. So we'll just give her a +1 to dexterity and AC. So +1 on her attacks for right now. I thought I leveled everybody up. Alright, so she's going to make 2 longbow attacks. We'll all focus fire. I am fairly certain that that hits. It helps if I use the right thing. Yeah, on the die almost. So she's going to get 2 hits in there. They're both 1d8 plus 3 now. So 9, so 15 points of longbow damage. Just pop, pop, that longbow. Just gonna leave this one at 06. So that one's pretty banged up. If it survives all the way back to its turn, it's probably gonna have to do a morale charisma roll to see if it's gonna stay in the fight or if it's gonna boogie on out. Because again, these are hungry animals. They're not gonna stay here. They're not zealots. They're not mindless creatures. They're not gonna stay here and fight to the death. But luckily we have The one bonus is that we drew all their attention away from the villagers. So, all focused on Leah, apparently, but probably not now that everybody's here. But, you know, at least we're saving some innocent lives, I guess. So that was the inn at the bottom. And is Ott gonna do... She has a cunning action. She'll try to hide, I guess. She'll try to hide. Oh, that's very good. That for sure beats their passive perception, even with the bonus for... Actually, they don't have keen senses, do they? They do not. But that absolutely destroys their passive perception. Even if they had keen senses, it would have been a pass. Alright, so Ott is... We'll just go ahead and put that in there. She is hidden. We're back at the top. Alright, it's Leah. Leah's still got the one in front of her. Is there anything else that she wants to do? Other than just shoot this thing? Fortunately, it's disadvantage if she does that. That's the only problem. I can't remember. Is Frostbite... Let's see if this will do this. Is Frostbite... I think it's an attack roll, right? You have to do that weird thing in 5e where you have to walk around whether it's a... Oh, nope, it's a con saving throw. Alright, so she'll do that because then she doesn't have disadvantage on the attack because it's not an attack roll. So she will cast Frostbite on the one that's in front of her. And it needs to make a Constitution saving throw, which it will do. Let's see. Alright, yeah. Well, it passes. So she tries to hit it with the frost, but it only just sort of... The sort of large hyena ducks out of the way and only sort of like a little bit of rimes on the sort of tufts of hair that clings to it. But no damage. Kind of got out of the way. Alright. Well, that's going to take us to Delg. Delg is in range now, so he'll sling. Great job, Delg, as always. Sling is wildly hit or miss. I guess that's really the problem with not having any bonuses to your attacks, really. Other than the +2 for proficiency. Well, actually, Delg has a little bonus, right? Yeah. But we put it in his wisdom. That's right. We put it in his wisdom so that way he could be a little bit better at healing. And associated skills. Alright, that's Delg. That means that it is Hyena turn. Alright, well, we've got one. He needs to make his morale check. I don't think that makes it. No. So, question, does this thing disengage or does it dash to get away? So disengage will be the yes. Okay, so it's going to disengage and move away. So that one moves away. And then I guess we'll just decide where the other ones go. I mean, we've got basically 4 that are still in the fight. So we'll put this one as flee. So we've got 4 in the fight. We've got 4 characters. I guess we'll just 1, 1, 1, 1. We'll just line them up. Alright, so the first one moves in against Leah. It's going to miss. The second one moves in against Delg. Gonna miss. Well, Ott's back. So it's probably just 2 on Imbar. So, first one, yeah, it's gonna hit Imbar. And then the second one's gonna get advantage for getting up. And also hit Imbar. Okay. Alright, so Imbar's got 2 on her. And those guys do... Ooh. So that's going to be 46 plus 6. Oof. Alright, so he takes 23 points of damage. Ouch. Ouch. That is not good. That leaves her 16 hit points. Ooh. Wow. Alright, well, she's clearly going to be using her own little heal thing when we get back to it. Right. Because I don't think we're not gonna survive very long taking hits like that. But that is a notion that, okay, Leah's like, alright, situation changed, time to start bringing out the big guns. Because things can turn real fast. Because Imbar's so easy to hit right now. Not that I think it would have mattered with those rolls. And... so... Yeah, and that was that, and so it's Ott, right? Ott's up next? Imbar, sorry. Imbar, ooh. Alright, well, Imbar's ganged up on. Well, I guess she is technically still next to Leah. So she does get that bonus. She will get her own gang up against one of them. One of them definitely hits. This one might actually hit. They have very low AC. Is that right? Plus, I didn't level up Imbar either. Maybe I forgot to save him. That might have been what happened. I was pretty sure I did all these. So her attack would probably have gone up again. But still, I think that makes it... Oh, no, that would right hit the 12. Okay, I'll take it. Oh, I guess it doesn't matter. We have advantage. Doesn't matter. So plus 3. Alright, 10 points of damage on one of these guys. So we'll do 35. And I'm just going to put down here. Is that the one that's on... I guess it doesn't really matter. There's 3 targets around her that she could choose from. Probably. 2 to 3. So it doesn't really matter which one she hits. So she does that, and she is going to use her bonus action to heal up a little bit. Okay, good. So she gets 13 hit points back. Alright, well, this has been used. But she's going to get 13 hit points back, which is going to put her at 29, which is a much more likely that you might survive another round. That was Imbar. It's Ott's turn. Ott's going to focus in on the one that's injured, and she will do 2 bow attacks. Oh. Well, one of them's not going to hit for sure. The other one will. Alright, so she'll do a d8 plus 3. Hey, max. Love it. 11. This takes us down to 24. Oh, actually I forgot Ott was hidden, so technically she has advantage on those. So we'll just count that first one as the roll then. Just roll another. Another hit. Nice. Alright, for 7 points. That will work. Alright. So that one's in pretty rough shape too. It may take a look at maybe getting out of here as well. Basically anytime it's kind of like they hit half HP or there's only half of their full numbers left, then that's usually when I start rolling morale checks to see if they're going to stay in the fight. These things are probably not going to stay in the fight because they don't have anything to gain. They were here for food, and food is proving quarrelsome, so we'll probably move on. But that is odd. It's back up to Leah. Leah, time to pull out some big spells, though, I think. What does she want to do? I think she's going to use this one, the magic missile. Actually, you know what? She's going to... I think she'd have one of these back. She's going to use a second level. She's going to cast a second level magic missile, which will give her 4 darts. She will do 1 against the already injured one, and then 3 against one of the uninjured ones. So the already injured one's going to take 2 points. Okay. And then this guy is going to take 8 points damage. Oh, that's actually not very good. Rolled not super well. Which puts us at 37. Alright, so the second one's at 37. Well, I could have gone better. Could have rolled a little bit better. I don't think she has anything that she can really do as a bonus action that's going to be helpful in this moment. Not really. Not really. Okay. Well, it is what it is. That brings us to Delg. Delg's last opportunity. Delg technically has a giant hyena on him. So Delg is going to have to drop his sling and pull out his spear and do his best. Right, not really a combat guy, so... I say that, and then he scores a hit. I say that, and he just stabs this thing. 2 points of damage. I assume he is this one, so we'll just do I'll just put this down here. So, like, this is Delg's. Or no, actually, this is Delg's. That's Delg's. This one is Imbar's. Imbar's, and then we'll just put this one as Leah's. So that way it just kind of helps us keep track of where they are, or not using the battle map. And we've got, you know, 9 creatures rolling around, and one of them's fleeing. Alright, Delg, gone. Alright, so let's do our... So we've got one that's fleeing, so this one boogies out. We're not really in a position to give chase to it, so I'm just going to go ahead and remove that one from the combat. That one's going to make a clean getaway. This next one, are they going to stay in the fight? No, absolutely not. Are they going to disengage? Yes. Do we want to do an interrupt? I haven't done a little interrupt in a while. Sure. Let's go ahead and do the interrupt. You know, we'll start it off. It's the start of the session. If something goes super wonky, we can deal with it right now. All right, here we go. Got the sheet. Let's see. So it is an interrupted scene. Something's going to show up in the middle of this fight. What's it going to be? Hopefully, it's not something that's going to make this thing even worse on us. But who knows? All right, roll them. So first, what is our subject? What's going on here? All right, so that's sort of belief, creed, or doctrine. So I think for this belief, we're going to talk about the reason, maybe the reason why the hyenas are here. So something about that's going to change. Let's see if we can get ourselves an action. Bribed by a recruit. Interesting. And our object. Ordinary information or technology. Alright, so there's going to be some sort of... There's an opportunity that we're going to be able to get some information about what's going on. So let me ask some clarifying questions. Sorry about that. Let me ask some clarifying oracle questions. Because I think... I get the sneaking suspicion that... maybe there's some sort of, like, control collar on one of these that we're going to see? Is that the case? Is there a control collar on one of these? No? Okay, so it's not a control collar. Maybe, like, war paint on them? Okay, it's not that either. Maybe are they something different? Are they maybe something that marks them as... Maybe there's something different, something new that sort of alights to the situation. Are they maybe... Ooh, it'd be really interesting. Are they were creatures? No? Okay. Ooh, good. That would have been way worse. We do not want that. Alright, what sort of new information we're getting from these? Is it maybe somebody shows up? Yes, okay. So somebody shows up. Somebody we know? I think that's extremely unlikely. -5. No, not somebody we know. Is it a gnoll? One or more gnolls? Maybe. Gnolls and hyenas tend to go together. Peanut butter and jelly, right? So +3? Okay, yeah, so I guess it's this one sort of giant hyena is, you know, yelping and licking its wounds as it runs away. And how many gnolls show up? Is it just one? I get the feeling it's probably just one. Is it just one? We'll just ask. So probably, so +3. Yeah, okay. So just one gnoll kind of shows up. I'm gonna say like on the top of one of these huts, sort of like framed by sort of that rising twilight, that pre-dawn light in the sky looking down. And bark something out in probably what is, you know, whatever actual language gnolls speak. Gnollish? I don't think that's on. I don't think it's on Ott's sheet, but yeah, I didn't. Yeah, I guess it's just called Gnoll. She speaks Gnoll. All right. Barks out something in Gnoll. Well, the only person who could possibly understand that is Ott, and it's not Ott's turn. So we're not going to worry about that right now then. So, we did that. It is the giant hyena's turn, right? So that one failed. It is going to disengage though. So this one is moving away. So we'll just put this down as flee. Maybe actually it's turned and is disengaging because it heard the other gnoll. And maybe it's barking orders at it. We don't know yet. So maybe it's regrouping around that gnoll. Alright, that's what that one's doing. What about the one with Imbar? I guess we'll just go down the row and ask, like, does the one on Imbar disengage as well? I don't think so. So -3. No. Okay. So at least the first one on Imbar is going to make an attack. It's certainly going to hit. And do that 2d6 plus 3. And Imbar is going to take 9 points of damage. She gets chewed up by giant gnolls. And then we have a second one that's on her. Does this one disengage? Oh, this one does. Okay, so this one disengages. So actually, I'm going to put this under regroup, because I think they're regrouping rather than fleeing. I think that first one just ran, but these other two are regrouping. So that one, I'll say it probably disengages. Probably. Nope. Okay, then Imbar's gonna take her punishment on it. Technically, she does have a friend next to her. That'll work. So that'll be. No, I guess we don't get. No, it's once per turn, not once per round. So that plus 2 more, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, so 13 damage on this one that regroups. Ooh, a meaty hit by Imbar. She crushes this side of this thing's muzzle with her warhammer as it tries to turn around from her. And so that one takes off. This one bit her, and last one on Delg. Is this one also regrouping? Yeah. Okay. Is it going to disengage? Yes. It is very cautious about getting away. Alright, very cautious about getting away. So this one's going to regroup as well. So we see sort of the end of the round is that other than one that hasn't pulled back yet that's still defending, 3 of them have sort of disengaged and moved back and sort of circled back around the gnoll that's at the top of that hut, who seems to be sort of like a Beastmaster commander of some type, who has barked some things, might have been to the hyena, might have been to our players. Only one of us speaks gnoll, which is surprising, right? Usually in a party that wouldn't be the case, but we do actually have a gnoll companion, so. But it's not her turn yet, so I don't think she's sharing any of that information. She's also the furthest away. So it is Imbar's turn. Everything has left her except, well, except for the one that's on her. And she'll still get an advantage. So she'll make a, wait, I already did Imbar's turn, right? I cannot remember. I got out of order of myself with the reactions. Did I do Imbar's turn? I felt like I did. No, I didn't. I was just doing the thing on the reaction. Alright, she does hit. At least I'm pretty sure. If not, let me know, but I think that's what I did. Oh, what kind of fate chart? So this is actually a sort of a custom made one. It's sort of a custom made GM Oracle. Talked about it in some previous sessions. But yeah, it's just sort of a custom D21. Basically anything that's 11 or higher is a yes, anything that's 10 or lower is a no, If I roll a 10 or 11, there's a chance that there's an interrupted scene, like something happens in the middle of the scene. It's generally how that goes. Sometimes on 20s or 1s, you know, something extra happens. Either it's extra good or extra bad. So she does 15 points of damage. Ouch. So she knocks this thing down to 22 hit points. She beats into it. And then Ott, who's in the back, did... So here's the question. Let's give Ott a perception check. So what is Ott's? Ott is trained in perception. All right, so she has a +3, so that's a 15. Does that? Okay, yeah. So this is a pretty low DC. It's a DC 10. So yeah, she definitely heard it. I guess we gotta ask some oracle questions about it. Was the gnoll talking to the hyena? I think that's likely, so +3. Yeah, okay. So it was talking to... So it was just sort of a sharp command. Sort of like a heal kind of thing, and it wasn't, you know... Wasn't trying to... Conversation or trying to get them to stand down, or, you know, some sort of battle cry, or anything like that. So no... what is she gonna do? I guess... It's pretty dark. But let me give her another perception check. Does she recognize... Does she recognize this gnoll? Do they have dark vision? Let me see. Okay, they do have dark vision. So I'm not going to give her disadvantage on the perception check. Okay, 16. So, good likelihood. Yeah. Probably. Yeah. That is not bad. That's a 13. Okay, so she passed. So does she recognize who this person is? Yeah, 50-50. I mean, we're in an area she's been in before. She's a gnoll. But that doesn't mean, right, not all gnolls know each other. Right, so does she know who this person is? Nah, she doesn't have a clue. So maybe not the specific person. Does she know... Let's roll again and be like, do they have any sort of, like, identifying traits on him? I'm going to say probably not. -3. No, okay. So she doesn't know. So what is she going to do? Well, there's only one hyena that's really engaged right now. And I'm actually going to just drop this one down here. So we're going to put down here, and then there's another gnoll. So there's a gnoll down here. So we'll just... Gnoll Beastmaster. I'm trying to think, does she shoot at the gnoll, or does she shoot at the hyena? I think she shoots at the hyena that's still engaged. The one that hasn't regrouped yet. So yeah, she's just going to plug him with 2. And we forgot to hide last time, so... Yeah, that's on us. Oh, both of us will hit, though. Alright, 4 + 6 is 10. So she fires another 2 arrows into this thing. And... it's not looking great. 2 arrows just pop, pop, sort of like into the meaty, sort of like haunch, neck, hackles kind of area. Very meaty, like strong neck, muscular. Does that and shoots into him, and this time we'll remember. Hey, Ott, you should hide. Can you hide? Nope. Okay. We're just gonna take that off of her. Alright. Alright, so we have the Gnoll Beastmaster. What is the Gnoll Beastmaster gonna do? Things are not looking super great for their group. We've got one hyena that's fled, 2 that are hurt pretty badly, and all of them that are hurt at least a little bit. So let's give the gnoll... I'll give the gnoll a morale check. I'm going to give them what is effectively advantage, which is, in this case, kind of disadvantage, because we want to roll under their charisma. And it's 5. I'm pretty sure gnolls have, and I'm not going to look it up, but I'm pretty sure gnolls have a better charisma than 5. I think they probably have a 6. Well, I don't know. They are humanoids, though, so probably. Probably. I'm just going to say probably. I'm not actually going to look at the stats. Are they going to attack, though? So they're going to stay in the fight. Do they attack? Yes. Okay. So they have regrouped, and I assume the Noble Beastmaster has like a javelin or something, probably a javelin or a spear, and has essentially 3 targets. Odds for sure too far away. Okay, and is going to chuck a javelin at Leah, and crit Leah. I'm not going to silvery barbs this. I thought about doing it with the crit, but I don't think Leah's been touched. Yeah, she's all right. It's just a javelin. She'll be okay. All right, so let's say like 6 damage. She sort of like dives out of the way as a javelin sort of like scrapes by her midsection. But that does give us the intent for them, I guess. And then I think they're probably going to hop down and try to hide in the darkness behind one of these buildings. So we'll give them a little sneaky sneak. And they're pretty stealthy, so 2, so plus 4, so 15. So we'll just put each other and we'll hide 15. Alright, so that's the bottom of the round, so we go back up to the top. Leah's looking around. These giant hyena have sort of regrouped, and they're all sort of like, they're kind of in a defensive posture right now. I feel like they're kind of just there, kind of snarling at the group specifically. Kind of snapping at them. But they have been, they have been slapped around a little bit, and a number of these actually want to get out of here. They actually want to run. But it's only by sort of like the force of their Beastmaster that's sort of keeping them there, that's commanded them to be here. So, interesting. So what is Leah gonna do? I'm not sure if Leah cares about finding the Beastmaster. She's got a good shot at one of these really injured ones. I'm gonna give her an animal handling check, which she is certainly not good at, to see if whether she can determine, like, if she doesn't attack these creatures, are they just going to be okay, or are they going to, like, on their turn actively attack them now that they've regrouped? So here's her animal handling check. That's a whopping 11 because she has a -1 wisdom, and she's for sure not trained in animal handling because she's an academic scholar. She's like a librarian. Or she's a book nerd. She's not a farm girl. All right, we'll do the DC, but it's probably, well, I said that, but that's an 8 DC. All right, that's 5 plus 3. That's 8. So I guess now we'll just ask the Oracle. Are they going to attack? I get the feeling it's probably like a 50-50 split. Like the hyena might attack, since the Beastmaster, they are being sort of like controlled by a leader. So 50-50. Okay, they are going to attack. So Leah's like, all right, well, I'm definitely going to try to break these guys again. We're going to do a little bit, since she succeeded on her. Oh, technically she still has one on top of her. That's really what I should be worried about. They didn't all regroup. So yeah, she's going to use the Frostbite again. So it's a con save for the hyena, which of course they pass. Alright, so that was a whole lot to do, not a lot. So Leah had the one in front of her, but she's not doing great at it. And her passive perception is not going to pick up where that Noble Beastmaster ran off to. It is Delg's turn. Delg is kind of off by themselves, but they are going to sling at the one still engaged giant hyena. Hey, and hit. Yep. And they do sort of 2 points of damage. So, yeah, hyenas laugh at, right, they have that weird sort of like cackling sort of sound call that they do. Between their sort of like barks and nips and it's sort of like kind of hackling kind of sound. Yeah, absolutely. So it's a weird fight. It's kind of unsettling probably in sort of like the dark gloom of pre-dawn morning. It's certainly I can't imagine it's very fun. It's not a very fun occurrence to be in there. All right, that was still giant hyenas, so we still need to do morale checks. These guys are still trying to stay in the fight. All right, that first one's gonna flee. That second one. Second one's definitely gonna flee. Is it gonna disengage though? Yes. Okay. So this one is. This one's fleeing. And this one, who's already back away from the group, is just basically gone. So one that's leaving, that disengaged though, but if we need to, we can get shots off on it. If we need to. And it is Imbar's turn. Well, that one just moved away from her. She'll do like an active perception check. She's gonna try to look for an old Beastmaster. She's not particularly good at this. Yeah, she doesn't find him. So I think she is instead going to try to take cover. She's going to try to take cover, and I think she's going to swap out her weapons. That's what she's going to do. So she's going to... So she takes cover and swaps to her bow. And... Oh, I didn't finish the rest. So we did say the other two were going to attack. Well, I should have done that first. Oh well. So let's say... kind of Leah and Delg, and then maybe it's going after Imbar. So Leah... Okay. So, is the first one going after Leah? Yep. Okay, so the first one goes after Leah. This one turns back. This one comes back on Leah. And it's the second one going after Leah, because we're kind of have a sort of like staggered array now. No. Is it going after Del? No. Then is it going after Ott? Ott's pretty far away. No. Okay, so then this one has to be sort of, this one is, well, is it trying to find Imbar? Let's put it that way. No. Alright, so this one has, let's say this one's also hiding, question mark? It's probably gone off to wherever the Beastmaster is, which is sort of hidden within the sort of, these homes that are sort of surrounding the cave. So in the back, so it kind of dropped down behind, and they're sort of in the back in the dark in the shadows. So they've got to kind of figure out, you know, where they are, what they're doing. Imbar couldn't find them, so she took cover and decided to get to her bow. Ott's gonna have herself a little poke around, which will probably pass. Well, she's got pretty good. Well, I say that. Actually, that's gonna fail. That's not good enough either. So Ott can't find them either, so she will do the same thing. She's gonna take cover, or she's gonna take cover and hide, actually. And then let's roll a little. She'll use her light cutting action to hide. Ugh. Terrible hide. So we're just gonna say she doesn't hide. She doesn't really find. She thought she had a good place, and then she's like, I can't really fit into this spot. So she's just kind of ducking behind cover. But I mean, she's still a hulking like 7-foot knoll. So I mean, she's still kind of peeking out from like behind whatever's there, like crates or something, barrels or something that's out. And it is our Knoll Beastmaster. Alright, so we are at a point where... Well, no, I guess... Yeah. This one needs to start making charisma morale checks as well, because most of the giant hyena have kind of taken off. And fails pretty miserably. Alright, so this Knoll... I think we see what happens is this knoll breaks. We see them sort of break out of cover from the sort of like obstruction of one of the cottages, and this knoll like swings itself up onto that giant hyena that we lost sight of, and sort of like barks at the one remaining one, and then they just turn and start to gallop off into the night. Take off into the night. So we're gonna go with this one is also flank. So it's just the one that's in the fight right now. And has been we can probably intuit that it's been told to leave. Right, it's been commanded to follow. But it is the top of the line. It is Leah. Leah has this one on her. You know, she hasn't been doing very good with the spells on this one, so I think she's just gonna swing her stupid staff at it. And hit it. The staff does D8 with 2 hands, so she has the whopping strength of +1, so she has 4 points of damage to it, though. Yeah, that's not nothing. Yep, sorry. Wrong one. 24. So she sort of smacks this thing across the snout with her staff as it keeps trying to snap at her. Delg's turn. Well, everybody's really only got the one target. So it's going to fire Sling. Hit. Nice. Great job, Delg. 3 points of damage. Love it when Delg gets on a hot streak with that Sling. Especially when it feels like other people struggle to hit, and then Delg, the person who is not really a combatant and has certainly the lowest bonus to hit, just goes on a tear with their Sling, just really effing the bad guys up. It's always a lot of fun. It tickles me. Alright, so we're down to giant hyenas. This one fled off into the night. This one fled off into the night. And one, are they going to stay in the fight? Maybe. They might. What is giant hyena? What is there? They're charisma 7. This one's staying in the fight. This one's gonna die here, probably. Right. This one's still in the fight. Got the bloodlust on them. Luckily hasn't reduced anybody to 0 hit points and gone into a rampage. Alright, so it's on Leah. It's going to, well, I guess technically it's on Leah and Imbar. And both of them are pretty unarmored right now. So we'll just roll. So high, it'll be Imbar. Okay, so it's going to attack Imbar instead. And hit. 56 plus 3. Ouch. Another 10 points of damage to Imbar. Right. Imbar is not looking good. Delg's gonna have to probably run up and try to heal them. Try to apply some bandages if this goes on any longer. Try to keep them alive, basically. Because we definitely don't want anybody dropping to 0 hit points. And this is probably something I feel like Ott probably really well knows. Imbar might know, but I don't think Delg or Leah know anything about hyenas and sort of that rampage ability. But I think those other two might know. I think Ott for sure knows. I think Imbar might know. Regardless, Imbar doesn't want to fall to 0 hit points either, with a horse-sized predator in her face. It is her turn, though. Oh no, sorry. Man, I do not have it together with this combat. Imbar's hiding. She moved. I'm just gonna retcon that real quick, because those 10 points are not going to Imbar because she's hiding. I forgot about that. Those are gonna go to Leah. So she's down to 11 hit points. That's better. So it is Imbar's turn. She was taking cover. She swapped to her bow. She's gonna stick her head out and she's gonna fire a shot. What's her bonus? Her bonus is, well, it's gonna be +7 because I didn't level her up. I thought I did all the level ups, but apparently I didn't save them. It happens. Alright, so she has a +7. Only needs to get a 12. Not gonna hit with rolls like that though. Those can't do anything about ones. All right, great job, Ambar. Ott's taking cover. Ott's gonna pop up and do 2 shots. Does not have advantage, but is gonna hit with those shots easily. +6. Nice, 16 points. Nice. Alright, so that giant hyena is on its last legs as Ott puts another 2 sort of into the face. I think at this point probably like hits one in the eye. And it's just peppered this thing with arrows. This guy took off. Our old Beastmaster took off. And we're back at the top with Leah, so it's Leah at the end. I mean, the staff worked last time. She's in a real bad place, though. She's gonna use some charges on the wand of magic missile, I think. I think she's gonna use two charges. No, just 1 charge. She's gonna use 1 charge to fire off some magic missiles. Oh, excuse me. For 9 points of damage, which will kill it. Huzzah! So they take down the giant hyena. Giant hyena. We knew that was gonna be a tough fight, and it could have gone way worse. But you know, some lucky rolls here and there, and luckily getting the hyenas down fast enough for them to start making morale checks. I think helped us a lot there. And otherwise, if we played this as a straight 5e combat where we don't do things like morale, and you know, you do that very, very basic D&D, like sort of, not really as intended, but as it's sort of set up to just be like 2 groups that just kind of smash against each other until one of them runs out of hit points. I think it would have probably been our side that ran out of hit points before them, especially with Imbar not having her armor on. And additionally adding the Snold, who actually didn't end up really doing too much. But that could have gone way, 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 way worse. But luckily it didn't, so you know, that's good. that's much improved for us. Let's see. We can. Luckily, only 1 person died. Like, as far as the I mean, 1 person's death is not great, but you know, it could have been way worse. So at least we're now able to sort of. What are we gonna do? We're just gonna go back to. You know, I'll just ask the Oracle. What I'm trying to figure out is, like, is there actually any treasure to be had here? I extremely don't think so. -5. Is there any chance of treasure? Okay, well, I lied. Apparently there is. So, that's not what I'm trying to roll. I'm just going to give it to the 1 because we really only had the 1 humanoid, and I don't think these hyenas are any of the dead hyenas. I don't think anybody's going to want hyena pelts or meat. I don't think that those are particularly valuable, so I think the only person who might have had something valuable on them is our Knoll Beastmaster, who kind of took off. So I'll just give us like 1d4 rolls of like treasure rolls real quick. 3. Okay, so 3 treasure rolls. Let me go down here. Where's our treasure notes? Go to treasure notes. Okay, so from the Knoll attack, what are we gonna get? Of course, I've got my handy dandy minor treasure tables. What are we gonna get? Let's roll a d20. For pocket contents. 13, some sort of trade good. Alright, let's do the trade good first. What type of trade good? I rolled a 3. Some sort of bone, horn, pelt, ivory, something like that. So some sort of some sort of bone knick-knack, something useful in that regard. And one last roll. Okay, and a d10. Alright, so it's gonna be like a let's say a bone fetish. Or a bone totem. Worth about 9 silver. So I mean, woo! Not exactly big treasure, but for what is essentially kind of a random encounter, you're not gonna have a lot of that. And we have 1 pocket contents. What's the last one? 16. Oh, some money. So they dropped some money. Great. We love that. And 7 copper. So yeah, they have like a ratty little pouch. Might not even be a pouch. Might just be like a wrapped up piece of hide, maybe like a string around it or something. And we open it up and they're like, oh, there's a handful of copper coins in here. Interesting. And then we had one pocket content, so let's do that. So 5 and 6. 5 and 6. Oh. Well, I was laughing about the pouch, but it turns out that within that there's something else. Something extremely valuable. Okay. So actually, in addition to that, there's 4 platinum. So we just got, 41 gold, just about, from that random encounter. What the heck this guy was doing with 4 platinum, this Beastmaster was doing with 4 platinum, we have no idea. Where would they even get this? Why would they have it? Why are they carrying around so much wealth? I mean, other than, I assume most gnolls are probably not welcome in a lot of settlements, so there's probably not a ton of trade. So maybe this is something they got in trade from somebody else in the wild? Or it's payment. It could always be payment. Let's go with that. Let's test that. Like, are there any additional clues? Like, right? Yeah. Like, was this Beastmaster hired by somebody? I mean, we've been running across that, right? We've got assassins after us. So, was this hired by somebody to come get them, or Dren, or Norkruth, or somebody related? Maybe Gimple paid somebody off to kind of come and attack us. Like, do we find... Let's do an investigation check. So we're going to roll this body. We're doing the investigation check. She has other people with her. I'll give Leah advantage. Didn't help. We rolled worse. Her investigation is okay. So it is 3 plus her 2, so plus 5. So that's a whopping 10. What's going to be the DC for this? That's a DC 13, so we don't find out anything. So if there is any sort of sign that this person was hired, we find no orders, no missive, no stamp, no piece of scraps of paper, anything like that. It might have been a handshake deal, might not have been a deal at all. Could have just been some random thing they traded for, could have been something they stole off a body somewhere, and they just know it's valuable. Alright, so we did that. Alright, so we got that done. Perfect. Alright. Alright, so that was our session start. And no Beastmaster, the best master. Beastmaster shows up. And right, the Beastmaster got away, so this is something they dropped. Dropped surprisingly large amount of coin. Surprisingly, and it's not that it's the type of coin. Surprising, dropped let's just say it, platinum pieces. Maybe hired to attack the place, or them. But you know, we failed. Failed our investigation of it, so we have no idea. We don't have any additional information about that. Well, I think there's a little bit of picking up, and I think we probably kind of go back and finish what is left of our long rest, which will kind of be a short rest. I'm basically just going to give them a short rest at this point, and we'll let them heal up a little bit. Do we want to let Delg use his thing? Use his healer kit? That could save us some hit dies. I don't know if that's super important to us. Well, we get half of it back. Half our hit dice back on long rest. So let's go ahead and... So we'll spend 2 hit dice for Leah. So she's a wizard, so she has the worst hit dice in the game. And we rolled terrible. So that's cool. That's a whopping 7 hit points back. Alright, so she's up to 18, and we used 2 of these guys. Ouch. That's not fun. So yeah, I think we're gonna have to get the assist from Delg. Now we'll basically immediately get that back because we're basically doing the healer's kit, then taking a short rest, kind of together. All right, so 1d6 plus 8. So then she gets 10 hit points back, which will put her back in full. Of course, after this, we're gonna have to check his healing supplies. Delg just has 4 hit dice, not 5. I don't know why that's there. He's also not hurt. Odd. Unhurt. In bar. Hurt. And lost a bonus action, but they're about to get that back. So we're gonna let, again, not 5 dice, right? Oh, sorry, nope. Oh, 1. I need to fix Delg's too. That's one of the weird things about doing the sidekick characters is that you add 1 hit die per their level as they advance, but they tend to start with more than 1 hit die, so that plays wonky with your head, or at least my head. Where I'm like, oh, they're a level 4 sidekick, they should have 4 hit dice. Well, no, because they started off with 2 hit dice. So they should have 5. Alright, so in bar, we're going to spend, because we'll get 2 back at a long rest, we're going to spend at least 2 hit dice. And she gets a D8 plus 2. Okay. So plus 4. So 12. We'll get 12 back, which is suitably better than what we got back for Leah. Almost twice as much. So it'll put us at 32. And then we can get the 1 healing from Delg, which will get us a D6 plus 8, which will immediately put us at full health. But we do need to make a check on his healing resources at the end of that scene. Fine. Bumps and Bruises has plenty of witch hazel and clean bandages, and he is well stocked up. Delg's a professional healer, right? By trade. He's quite good at the efficiency of his healing materials, apparently. And just an overall rock star in healing to be in general. So they finish their long rest back in their rooms. Inbar gets her armor on, suits up, everybody gets suited up for the morning. And let's see. I think at this point, let's go back. So let's just go over the recap real fast because I wanted to jump into the combat right at the beginning. So let's kind of talk about what happened last time. So we did the long rest overnight. We looted Norcruth's bodies. This is all right. It's only been 24 hours. A lot has happened in a day, basically. So we looted the bodies of Norcruth. I still need to add all this to some of this to our treasure notes. I haven't moved that over yet. We had to search for Dren in the morning. We ended up finding them dead in a ditch outside the keep's ground. They didn't have any wounds or signs of struggles on them. We failed that medicine check, so we don't know what killed them exactly. Because there's no signs of struggle and there's no wounds, we get the feeling, and we don't think that he was out for a late night walk and had a stroke or something like that. So we think that he was probably poisoned, but we don't know enough about poisons to be able to definitively say yes, he was poisoned, his body was dragged out of the keep and dumped here. And because there's no sign of struggle, it must have been done like while he was sleeping, or he was eating or whatever, and then they moved the body. So we took it back to Dren's majordomo at the keep, who's kind of the castellan right now, kind of taking care of operations, executive function. And we know that they're going to ask us to take the news and testimony of Dren's death/murder back to Split Valley Oasis' Reeve. So that's one of the things we're going to do. So we did everything with the water shrine. We got rid of Rhinefire. That's why we did the level ups. Or apparently, I forgot to say a number of the level ups, but we did the level ups. So I need to go back and do them. As far as we can tell, Rhinefire is okay with the water shrine, and he doesn't seem to be particularly concerned with Gimbal because we failed our insight check, honestly. So we returned to Dren's Keep. The Majordomo has completed their sort of documentation that they want us to carry back, and then give our sort of like first-hand testimony of what happened to the Split Valley Oasis Reeve, and figure out what's going to kind of go on with that. Alright, so other things we need to remember, we don't know if the corruption at that shrine is going to do anything to Rhinefire, because we keep running into corrupted elementals coming out of that shrine, or somewhat related to that shrine, and we think that this might have something to do with sort of our main plot about dragons and primordial elemental essences. The original research that they've been blacklisted from, that Leah and her companions at the Academy Conservatory had been blacklisted for, was talking about the primordial origins of dragons, about how dragons themselves are related to the primordial sort of elemental chaos. And that research was blackballed, and people were coming after them years later about it, like maybe trying to kill them. So we're not sure if that corruption's going to affect Rhinefire, and I forgot, as the player, to maybe think about that. And we didn't have Omer with us, who would be really the person who thinks about that. But we didn't bring Omer with us because Omer's not a combatant and he doesn't provide healing. He is a researcher from the Academy, so he's back at Akari's estate. So I'm sure he will remind us once we get back there. So we are moving up. It is 15, so this is approximately May 16th. And we're going to move to warm and breezy. It's going to be kind of a crappy day for travel, though, because it's a bunch of heavy rain. Alright, so what are we doing next? We finished our long rest. We got everything. We've got our documentation from the Majordomo. So we need to go back to Split Valley Oasis. And I think we're going to go... We've got to take the boats, too. We got to go pick up the boats. Actually, we have the boats. We brought them with us. We portaged them. So we'll go back to the river, and I think, let's look at our thing right here. I think what we're going to do, so we're right here. We're going to portage back to the river, and then we'll take the river's course back to the Oasis. And then I think instead of going back over to Akari's, we're going to go over here. We're going to go to the Split Valley Oasis, the trading post. In general, we're going to go there first, so we can do the things and maybe we can get some information about the travelers that we saw that had been that caravan that got attacked on the way when we were coming this way. No, was it in secret notes? Oh. Ah, it was in secret notes. So the population, I was 1 off. That's not bad. So we'll just that real quick. There we go. So yeah, we're gonna head back up. We got a full day of adventure in front of us. It's gonna be a crappy day because of all the heavy rain. So I think I'm going to... I'm gonna give us advantage on the threshold for traveling, but I'm gonna give us disadvantage on the D4s, which will technically be advantage. Things are just going to take more effort than we're expecting. So let's go ahead. I'll get that set up, and then I'll take a quick break, and then we'll see if we can at least make it back to Split Valley Oasis. And remember, the Gimbal's still hiding in the eaves somewhere. He could show up at any point. And that would be bad for us. That would be bad for us indeed. Alright. So we're gonna head back with documentation of Drin's death. Alright, so let's go down here to control operations. Alright, right, on a D10, right, every time that we make a move, if we roll a 1, Gimbal or somebody related to Gimbal's going to show up. Alright, so what's our threshold? We're getting an advantage because we have the boats. Alright, her saving throw, Constitution is... So that's not great. That's only a 12. Then I'm going to put down here. So it's 0-0 right now, but we're going to have disadvantage. Alright, so I am going to take a quick break, refill my coffee, we'll jump back in, and then we will take out and hopefully make it back to Split Valley Oasis. That's the plan for this session. Unfortunately, I had a sneaking suspicion that the hyena combat was going to chew up a bunch of our time. That is, in fact, what happened. But luckily, we didn't have anybody get really, really badly hurt, which is always kind of a concern, especially in solo RPGs. Playing that. So, I am gonna go take a break. I'll see you guys in just a second, and we will get this last part finished up. All right? All right. Hold on. I'll be right back. All right. Let's hop back in. Got everything settled at Drin's Keep. Got everything loaded up. We've got our boats up, and we're taking them with us, and we are going to start moving hexes. So we are going to grab our stuff, and we are going to leave Drin's Keep to the northwest through heavy rain, unfortunately, kind of muggy weather, and get back to the river. So that's what we're up to, and we don't need this, so open that up a little bit. So here, let's go into, well, we didn't roll very well on our threshold, so let's roll our effort. So we're taking the highest, of course, 4. So because of the circumstances, we may not make it back to Split Valley Oasis this time without really pushing ourselves. And since things are really dangerous, I don't think they're going to try to really exhaust themselves on the off chance they get in a fight with anything, whether that's apparently gnolls in the area, random encounters with anything, Gimbals people, like more assassins, like anything could show up. So I don't think that they're going to risk trying to exhaust themselves to like push themselves to kind of make additional progress along the route. But I get the sneaking suspicion we will probably not make it back to Split Valley Oasis because of the heavy rain. I think it's just going to take too much out of us. It's just going to make everything just so miserable, and it's going to take so much extra effort. We're not going to make it there. All right, but that is does anything happen to us? Yeah, immediately into another combat. Okay, so we got immediately into another combat with our boats as we are heading back to the river. Let me ask the Oracle, did we make it to the river at least? No. Okay, so this is while we are traveling. So everybody in the group's got sort of like a canoe style boat. over their head, and they're walking with their stuff. And we're walking across sort of this open plains area, and we're gonna get attacked again. Immediately get attacked again, unfortunately. It happens. 1 in 12 change. So what I wanted to ask is this more gnolls? And I think, given off the circumstance and that one ran away, I think it's kind of a 50-50 chance. I think that there is a possibility that this could be the gnoll. Could be the gnoll that went and got more people and came back. Potentially, maybe we're going to find ourselves up against a war party. Or raiding party of some type. Or some skirmishers, scouts, who knows. But that's what we're looking at. So, let's ask. Is it them? I think it's 50-50 shot. Yeah, okay, so it's more gnolls. Alright, well let's figure that out. So let me do it this way. Alright, so the sort of gnoll or hyena. Okay, it has to be one or the other, right? Alright, gnolls are they can get pretty high. Alright, let's do. So we got 4 of us. We're all supposed to be level 4. My fault. And of course, we always want to do a hard encounter. Yeah, we're just gonna keep it that way. I'm not gonna make things more difficult for myself than they already are, which is already pretty difficult. let's not pile on. Okay. So those are our gnoll options. Let's get some hyena options, because we've only fought giant hyenas. But there are plenty of low-level hyenas, too. So I think we'll just keep. So there's a CR1. We do know that one escaped with at least one large giant hyena. So I think I'm actually going to. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to replace this with one of these guys. And I think we're going to go with gnoll hunters instead of gnolls for sort of the beastmaster. So I think we're going to have at least one beastmaster. For sure. At least one beastmaster that we're going to use as hunters. And how many of these guys can we get in there? Alright. Yeah. So we'll just ask it that way, right? Let's say 1d6 minus 1. Okay, well, we're gonna go with at least one. There's at least one. Alright, how many gnoll hunters can we potentially get up to? Alright, potentially 6. So we'll just roll for how many there. Of course, we got the absolutely max of them. And because that's already. Do I want to drop one down? I was kind of wanting to trying to add some level 0 hyenas in there, but that's already. So we basically got the gnoll hunter that made it back with the one, I guess, technically injured. Though everybody's rested up, so we'll just assume that they rested as well. And went and got the rest of their sort of like pack of hunters. So here, question. We had 5 hyenas. Was it 5 giant hyenas, and 5 gnoll riders? That might make more sense than a beastmaster. I just kind of threw beastmaster out there because we had one with a bunch of hyenas, but it could be riders. Are they riders? I think that's actually pretty likely. So +3. Yeah, okay, so they're riders. So I'm going to knock this down to 5. There would be 5, and then there's the giant hyena. And I don't think, yeah. And then, how many normal little hyenas can we get in there? Okay. We could get, I guess, a D4. Or let's do this. It could go up to 5, so let's do a D6 minus 1. Okay, so none. All right, I'm fine with that. I kind of wanted to put them in there, but I actually kind of tumps the difficulty quite a bit, which is not terrible for us. Alright, so we've got some gnoll hunters and giant hyenas. Well, we already know what the giant hyenas look like, so let's get some gnolls. Let me open this guy. So, and this time we are using the gnoll hunters. Here we go. Right, which are very similar. This is what Ott is based off of, is a Gnoll Hunter. So that's why her hit dice are all weird. She has like 8 hit dice now. Or 7 hit dice, whatever it is. So, alright. Let's roll... Let's say a perception check. Did we see him before they show up? Oh, that's... I mean, technically they have advantage. I'd say that Ott's probably the one doing that, and so she has a +3, I think. 3 or 4. So that's... 11. I think their stealth is... Yeah, they're... I don't know if they're being stealthy, though. Yeah, I don't think they probably... Well, let's ask the Oracle. Were they expecting to meet up with us? I don't think that's likely. Actually, I think that's extremely unlikely. So, -5. Alright, so there's no surprise, there's no ambush, anything. We're in an open plain, we see them pretty clearly. We'll have to figure out whether that looks aggressive or not, though. So we definitely come across these... We immediately come across these guys. This pack of gnolls that are, for the most part, without their riders, except for the one who does seem to have their mount still. And we see them, they see us. Let's do an insight check. Okay, natural 20, that's good. Okay, good. So we feel very confident in our insight check that our insight check's probably going to be really good. Does this look... Do they look like they're going to move to engage? Are they going to engage for a fight? Okay. That's 18. The DC was 18. So we'll ask the Oracle. Do they look like they're going to engage for a fight? They're a little bit down. This person probably told them that, you know, this group of people probably whooped their butts already once. So are they... Are they going to engage? Okay, they are going to engage. Alright, so maybe this is a vengeance thing. So there's a war cry that goes out, and we'll roll initiative. Well, certainly not Gnoll Witherlings. Don't want to include those, because those are undead. A Fleshnar, I'm kind of looking at the DC. I thought their DC, their CR. I thought about including that, but I'd rather have the giant Gnoll, which is the same DC or the same CR, and I'd rather have the giant Gnoll, the giant hyena, rather than a beefier Gnoll. I think this makes more sense as sort of like a raiding scouting party than a war party, maybe. But they are going to engage, so we are going to roll initiative, and we'll just use... Yeah, I think they've all got 12s. So let's hop back in to our combat. What am I looking at? Combat tracker. There we go. All right. So we have on 12 gnolls, and then we're gonna have 12 giant hyena, which we know has 45 hit points. The gnolls, however, have 22 hit points. Yeah, I really actually quite like gnolls. I wish they showed up a lot more in D&D games. They're a nice break for a low-level fighting that's not the old goblin kobolds. They have sort of an interesting thing. Goblins, kobolds, orcs, they're kind of orcish in nature. Very similar. Let's see, and I was just gonna... 22. Yeah, 22. How many of these guys we have? We have 5? Yeah, alright, so 5 at 22. Oof. Alright, let's roll some initiatives. Leah first. Alright, well, Leah's at the bottom. I believe that is a 4. Hot. Hot's up here at 19. Actually, technically, she's going to be at 20. So we'll do that. Delg rolls with a big fat +0. Yeah, he's down there too, but somehow before Leah. And for Imbar. Imbar has a +2, I believe. Alright, so that's where we are. Ott's first. Ott, I think, understands, right? It makes sense that she goes first because we hear them probably like yip and cackle in that sort of null hyena way. And pull out weapons and sort of circle around their one remaining giant hyena. And I think Ott immediately recognizes, oh, that's they're trying to whip themselves up for fight. That's just like a battle rage sort of like chant. Like they're trying to get themselves whipped up for combat. Try to get the adrenaline going. And she is going to and this is more of an oracle. This is more for sort of a world-building oracle question for Ott. Once, because I feel like Ott just implicitly would know this. Do gnolls, when they commit to like doing a fight, like at that point, is there any ability to sort of talk them out of a fight, or is this like they've made the decision, we're whipped up, we're weapons drawing, like there's nothing that stops us now until, you know, blood's drawn? Yeah, I didn't say that out loud. I was gonna give that a -3. I don't think it's likely that you can talk to them afterwards. So we'll go with the 9. Yeah, so they're just gonna go into fight. I think she recognizes that, and then I think if the one on the hyena, which we don't know if it's the same one or not as before, is probably the leader. Like the leader probably takes precedence to ride, so she's just gonna fire 2 shots at him, sitting on the back. Ugh, and roll terrible, and miss with both of them. Speaking of which, I forgot to do her arrows from last time. Okay, she's good. Alright, well, that's odd. There's really no cover. I think first thing she does is obviously drop the boat she's carrying and pull out her bow and take a couple shots. And then I think she's going to sort of like duck down, and I think she's going to try to take cover behind the boat, because she knows that they have bows too, or javelins, or whatever they use. Which it's immediately their turn, so they're going to do that. I believe they have, yeah, they have longbows. So I think they're going to do their advance. Here's a question. Can they get in range? Can they get in range with a dash? I don't think so. No. Alright. So they're further than 60 feet away. So let's say 90, at least. 90, 120. They've got to be within 120 because they've got to be within range. So we'll say 120. For decent range for the longbow. Or at least move into range with the longbow. And so they're going to take some shots. There's 5 of them, right? Alright, who's getting the extra one? We'll just go down initiative order. I believe that's Imbar. Okay. So 2 on Imbar. So against Ott, miss. Against Imbar, 1 hit. And the second one, all misses. Alright, so it's D8 plus 2. So Imbar takes 9 points of damage as another arrow slams into her chest through her armor. So not great. Not exactly what we want, is it? As she's tried to put down the boat and gets slapped with an arrow. And then 2 against Elg, because they all have multi-attack. 1 miss, only 1 hits for 8 points of damage on Delg. So he takes 1 in, let's say, the leg. And then finally, 2 against Leah. Ooh, which I think I'll miss. Yeah, that should be a 12, which is not her AC with Mage Armor. Alright, so there's a bunch of wild arrows that get shot off, and then I think the giant hyena has a movement speed of what? 50. So it's going to do a full dash, but it's still not going to quite be in range for melee on its turn. So it's there, but is coming in fast and heavy, and is certainly within range of all of them now. And they can move up and attack if they want. So that was a giant hyena. So Inbar is going to close the distance and make an attack. Hold on. Gonna make an attack. Do we want to make an attack on the leader? I think on the leader. I think she saw clearly trying to hit the leader and not the giant hyena, so she's going to follow suit and try to hit them with a hammer strike. That's not great. So that's going to be a 15. That actually hits, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, okay. So she hits it, but she doesn't get the gang up. She just gets the straight 1d8. Alright, so 7 points on our leader. So that one's down to 15. That's the one that's on top. That's the rider, just so we remember. So that one's the rider. She plugs him with a Warhammer strike, probably slaps him right on the knee. Oof, that probably hurts really badly, actually. That is her turn. She doesn't really have any bonus actions. Delg will pull out his sling and sling at the rider. And strike the rider. Great job, Delg. MVP with the sling for 3 points of damage. Alright. Down to 12. Already looking good. Already looks good. I mean, fingers crossed. Hopefully I didn't just screw myself over by saying things look good so far in the combat, because they almost all missed with their arrows. And Leah. So this one's come up. Inbar's engaged. Leah's going to... I guess firebolt him. Try and firebolt. Oh yeah, that definitely hits. So 1d10. Only 2 points of damage though. But that is enough that one's going to have to start making morale checks. They're the leader, so I might give them advantage. We'll see. That's it. And then I think Leah... I didn't say it, but let's assume basically everybody but... everybody but Inbar is taking cover right now. Behind their boats. Right? They dropped the boats, pulled out weapons, and those who are using range are kind of like kneeling down behind it. So look at the +2 for cover. It's not great, but it's better than nothing, especially when you're about to face, another 8 arrows flying your way. So you're going to want that +2 to your AC. And that is the end of the round. So that's back up at the top, who's behind her cover. She sees the rider. She'll make a strike on the rider. That for sure hits. 1d8 plus 3. 5 points of damage. So the rider's down to 5 hit points. Then she'll use her other attack on him. That's also going to hit. Come on. Yeah. Alright. So we kill the rider. Who sloughs off. And we have the giant hyena. And since we realized that it didn't seem like they were coming after us specifically. So the likelihood, when we were looking at the platinum, that they had been hired to come after us seems unlikely then. If they weren't prepared to face us. If that's not what it seems like they were on their mission to do. So clearly they just stole money. Maybe that was from the caravans, who knows. Maybe they're the people that were hitting the trade caravans nearby between Split Valley Oasis and Carjuntan. Could be. Could be. Only one way to find out. And that's to spend a bunch of time investigating and asking questions. Alright, so it is the Gnoll's turn. They're going to fire another battery of arrows. Since we killed one, it's down to 2 basically for every character. So we'll go down initiative again for Ott. Ott still has cover. I'm not sure that's going to help her though. An 18, yeah. So she's going to get plugged twice. Not great. +4 for 13 points damage. Okay, that's not too bad. So she's down to 20 hit points. And the next Gnoll is going to take a couple shots at Imbar, who's not behind cover. Critically miss, and then fail the other one. Nice. It somehow misses the one person who's standing out in the open. But it hits the other one, must be a better shot, because they hit somebody behind cover with 2 arrows. And against Delg, another critical miss, but definitely a hit. Yeah, there's no way it can't hit Delg. Alright, so 9 points damage to Delg as he sort of like gets clipped by an arrow in the arm. Sorry, he would have... What did Delg get damaged by? Oh, he got shot last time. I said 9 points, right? I think that's what I said. So he does not look particularly good. He's gonna have to position heal thyself. Alright, so... Oh, and 2 against Leah. Finish it out. I think those hit. +4, so it's 15. What's her AC? This is gonna be really close. Oh, nope. Because she has cover. She is good. So it slaps into the bottom side of the boat. 2 arrows. Pluck in. And that's why you take cover in combat. You're in range combat. 2 points of AC can mean a lot, especially in 5e. Well, it's much more rounded math curve. So those are the Gnolls. The giant hyena is up there and has moved in, will attack Imbar. It's face to face with Imbar. Straight attack. There's no way that's in Imbar. And miss. That makes it Imbar's turn. She is going to try to clap back. She will certainly hit. Again, she doesn't have any friends up there with her, so that kind of hampers her abilities. But she is going to do 7 points of damage to it. 8, and I'll just put a little eye there. Remind myself that this one's up on Imbar. Imbar's the only one engaged in melee combat right now. Delg, who is behind cover, is going to pop up and take a sling. I guess the hyena. It's the closest thing. It's the thing that's actively attacking. Gonna hit. Great job, Delg. The sling. For 1 point of damage. Yay! I mean, for a person who's not really a fighter, great job, right? Like, certainly carries his weight. For sure. In the party. And Leah, well, these giant hyenas are pretty nasty. Oh, Delg really needed to heal himself. That's really what he should have done. I'm going to say that Delg is going to... I'm going to give him full cover. Or actually, I guess it's technically 3/4 cover. So I'm going to say that he lays down fully, because I don't have any actions left to do the healing. So instead, he just fully... Well... Yeah, I think he just like fully lays down and probably tries to hide. So sure, we'll give him a hide check. I mean, he kind of hides under the boat, I guess. That's probably not going to be good enough. But he is trying to hide behind the boat because he really can't get shot again, or else he's gonna be KO'd, and that's not a good position to be in. So yeah, everybody's just kind of firing longbows at each other right now, just shooting arrows and spells at each other. Except for the giant hyena. Leo. Oh, Leo, what are you gonna do, girl? I think she's gonna duck out of cover, and she's gonna run up, and I think she is going to grab Imbar's weapon and cast magic weapon on it. I think that's what she's gonna do. And then she's gonna run back and take cover, right? Because she does not want to be out in the open. So that's what she's gonna do for her turn, unfortunately. Right. Not a lot of bonus actions for Leah as a character. And nothing's on fire. I was thinking about using Igni, but I don't think that makes sense. So instead, we're going to go back up to the top. That's Ott. Ott's going to take a couple of shots at the giant hyena. Both of those will hit. And that plus 4, 15 points of damage. Nice. Nice shot down on the hyena. Oh, sorry, 22. As it takes another smash, and it's going to move into start making morale checks. It might make a run for it. We'll have to see. Might. Yeah, it'd be nice, but we'll see. Knowles. Well, everybody gets 2 shots. Alright, that is certainly... That's just 1 hit. That's 1 hit on Ott. For 7 points of damage. Ouch. Down to 13. And who's next? Imbar. Those are misses. Against Delg. He has a plus 5. Ooh, that's going to be a crit, though. He can't take the crit. There's no way. So, Leah's going to cast Silvery Barbs. And force them to basically roll another d20. And miss. Okay. And then she's going to give that bonus to... She's going to give the bonus, the advantage die to... Imbar. I'll just put it in. Yeah, and we need to mark off her spell. I believe Silver Barbs is a cycle swap. Yep. All right. Well, that was a good use because we definitely couldn't. He definitely could not have taken that hit. A crit would have definitely knocked him out, and we can't have him knocked out because he's our only healer, and that would be very bad. We don't. That would be very bad. So we're gonna keep moving. All right. Those were. Oh, there are 2 against Leah. I've done the 2 against Leah. Try not to get crit. 1 miss and 17. Up, right on the dot. That's exactly what her AC is with the cover. So she takes 1 hit. So she'll take 7 points damage. Down to 20. That's her first hit of the combat. So just arrows back and forth, spells flying back and forth. There's not a place. Everybody's kind of ducked into cover except the giant hyena and Imbar, who are just keep fighting in the melee in between. So that brings us through to said giant hyena. They need to make their morale check. Nope, they're gonna bug out. Are they gonna disengage? Nope, they're gonna run for it. Imbar is not... If this thing's bugging out, she is not going to use her advantage die. Yeah, she's going to wait to use that on her turn. So she'll just do an opportunity attack. Doesn't matter anyways. Guess what? She crits on 19 plus. That's a crit. I wish she had the full crit. I wish she had the gang up, but she doesn't have anybody next to her. Unfortunately. So she has advantage, but she doesn't have an ally, and that's specifically an ally thing. But she does get to roll 2 of these. So that's pretty good. That's 15 points of damage, which I think kills it, right? No. Takes down to 7 hit points, and it flees. Imbar. Now it's her turn. How does she feel? She's okay. Does she want to move into the melee? They're pretty far away, though. We said they were basically at 120, and they haven't moved any closer. So she would have to spend like 2 rounds getting there. I think she's going to run back and take cover behind the boat. So this is going to be purely a ranged affair, it seems like, at this point. Until somebody breaks off. Alright, so she's going to run back and she's going to take cover. And then she will drop her warhammer and pull out her bow and take the advantage die there and line up a shot with one of the gnolls. Doesn't matter, none of them have been hit. So she will get advantage on this one. And definitely hit. 1d8 plus 2. 6 points damage. Against this first one. So down to 16. Nice. That's it for Imbar. And that advantage die goes away from Silvery Barbs. It is Delg's turn. Delg needs to primarily heal themselves. So they're going to do that. 1d6 plus 8. 10 points. Okay, so 10 points. So they'll be back up to 24. They'll be back up to 24, and we'll just give them a little asterisk so we know that, hey, they've already had the healing kit, because you can only have it once per short rest, I believe. So, you know, hopefully it doesn't get hit a lot more. Still going to stay in 3/4 cover, still keeping their head down. Which I guess they all could, because they all have cover. That's the nice thing, is that the gnolls don't have any cover. They do. So everybody should maybe kind of do the 3/4 cover, because, I mean, the way movement works in 5e, there's not going to be any penalty between... I mean, they would just hold their actions for people to pop up to fire, so essentially it's the same thing. So there would be a lot of extra work to basically do the same thing. But we could technically drop down to prone, and then spend our spin movement to get up, and then dropping down to prone again at the end of our turn, because dropping prone is a free action. And standing up is half your speed, but if you're not going anywhere, it doesn't matter, right? We're just hiding behind the boats. But they would just hold their action to shoot when they were at half cover. So there would be a lot of extra noodly parts to basically do the same thing that we're already doing. So Delg hangs out. Leah's got her cover. Leah's going to, at this range, I think the only thing she can do is Firebolt. Against the injured one. And miss like a chump. Alright, it's back to Ott. Ott's at the top. Ott takes 2 bow shots. Misses with 1, hits with 1. 1d8 plus 3. 8, 9, 10, 11 points of damage off that one gnoll. Ouch. It plugs it really good. I think it's probably like a neck wound, like it's really, really heavily bleeding. Like, arrows sticking out. Sort of like gnarls and yips, sort of like kind of cackles in their way. And all right, anything else Ott needs to do? I can't really hide. I mean, they know where you are. We're in an open plain. There's no place to go. There's just the boats to hide behind. And so the gnolls, I think one of the gnolls is going to try to, well, let me do this. We definitely need to roll morale for that one injured one, which it's gonna fail. I think this one's the one that's failing, I think they're gonna try to grab onto the giant hyena as it goes by. So let them make like an athletics check. They're technically an animal handling. This is more athletics. It feels, well, what I would call probably strength animal handling rather than wisdom animal handling. But I don't think it's going to matter either way. Okay, yeah. So, one of those gnolls jumps onto a giant hyena and they ride off into the distance. So that's what's going to happen on their turn. We're not going to worry about them anymore. They're gone from combat. So it's just the 3 gnolls left. They're on feet. They are technically at half strength now, so I guess they all need to start thinking about getting out of here. As I saw one of their compatriots sort of boogie. And then like, oh, well, technically they started with 4. I'll let them make it with advantage. Alright, so that one's good. The second one fails for sure. And the last one is... That's the giant hyena. Right. So one of them also decides to bug out. Let's do this first one. So one of them freaks out and runs off, and so it's just the two that are left as they kind of stand their ground. Because from their perspective, they have the group kind of pinned down, like in cover. And they're just kind of exchanging blows. So 1d4, who's going to get that first shot? Leah, who's getting the second one? Okay. So against Leah. Well, that's going to be 2 hits, for sure. Not too bad damage, though. Only 8 points of damage. So, she looks alright. And then, against Ott. Who again still has cover. 1 miss, 1 hit. 1d8 plus 2. She gets shot. Ooh. As a real hard one hits her. She does not look good. She takes one to the chest. And she has 4 hit points left. Probably should have dropped down to 3/4. I should have paid attention to her hit points. Alright. So those are the gnolls. So they feel like they're starting to get us on the ropes, despite their being outnumbered. There is still this feeling that, like, maybe they have advantage over the situation. Alright, Inbar's in cover. She's gonna pop up and she's gonna take a shot with her longbow against one of them. And remember, she crits on 19 plus because she is a kind of a half champion fighter. That's kind of how the warrior works as a sidekick. That's pretty good. That's 16 points of damage to one. Which leaves them at 6 hit points. Wow. So yeah, there's one. This one turns around, shoots Odd. Odd's not looking great. She's got what, like 3 or 4 arrows sticking out of her. She's gonna go down. Inbar pops up and then just immediately like cracks this one. Probably somewhere very, very meaty, either in the maybe in the abdomen. It's for like a gut shot. One of these arrows and sticking out, sort of like enters in and like out the kidney in the back. Like it's not like this creature's probably gonna die eventually, but they're still in the fight, at least for right now. But they do not look great, and they get popped really bad, and there's a lot of blood. But that is her. She's going to stay in cover. Delg is going to action roll his way over to Ott. Action roll, and duck down into cover, so he'll lose 3/4. He's going to go to... but he was laying down. So let's ask the Oracle. Can he reach Ott? Should I have given that... They were carrying... She can't be that far away. But you know, I'm gonna stick to my guns. All right, so he can't get there. Well, oh no, but he can dash. He can dash, so he can definitely get there. So Del dashes. I forget that he's an expert. Dashes as his bonus action, and then gets down there, and then it has his. As he sort of slides into cover behind the boat with Odd and sort of pulls her down and starts like applying bandages to her. And again, they get the 1d6 plus. 1d6 plus what? 8. Okay. So that's quite good. So 13 hit points back for Odd. So I'll take her up to 17, but she can't get another one of those healings until they take another short rest. Alright. So that's what Del's going to do. Leah's in cover. Again, the only thing she can really do with this range is Fireball, because they're so far away, because we're trading longbow shots at, like, basically max of normal range, which is, like, 120 feet. So they are far away, right? That's, what, like 40 yards? Like, it's pretty considerable distance for ranged kind of attacks. And the only spell I think that she has that reaches that far is... in fact, Firebolt, which does have a range of 120. So she sees the one that is hurt. I'm gonna give her an intelligence check because I get the feeling that one will probably flee. She's more battle hardened now, so I'm gonna give her just like a basic. I guess technically it's an insight check. which she's not great at, so that's a 13. Oh, well the DC ended up only being 6, so yeah. So I think she was like, all right, this one looks like they're wavering, so I'm gonna fire at the other one. Nice. And crit. She like has her staff out and like aimed at that one, is like, wait. And then moves over to that one, is like, bam! 2d10. Oof. Good shot. 11. I mean, technically that is average. That's average damage for 2d10. So this one takes 11, which is half their hit points. This fire just sort of slams into sort of like their upper torso and face. And the smell of sort of like seared, burned flesh and hair as it sort of yelps and cackles as it's sort of wreathed in flame for a moment. And Leah stays in cover. Hot is up. Hot's gonna take a shot. We'll take a shot at the first one that's injured and then maybe the other one. We'll do it one by one. Alright, well that's a miss on the first one, so we'll go get on him. Okay, that'll definitely hit. This should kill them. That's exactly what we need. That's exactly 6 hit points. Should kill them. Barely kills them. And finally finishes this one off after sort of like... This one's gotten wrecked pretty badly by Inbar. And, right, the tides have definitely turned on these last two gnolls very quickly. They didn't quite have the battle knowledge of maybe the other one did, who was like, I gotta get out of here. These guys are gonna kill us. So, doesn't quite do it. It is that one's turn. We'll let them make the morale check. Stays in the fight somehow. Decides at this point, like, they realize, like, there's no way I'm getting out of here alive. And so they go to fight. Everybody's in cover. So it doesn't really matter who they choose. So yeah, I think they're gonna fire and then maybe move out of range. Try to pull them out of cover, maybe. Alright, so they're gonna shoot against Delg. One miss, but one will hit. One's gonna hit Delg, which is not great. But he'll only take 5 points of damage, so which he can take that. He's down to 19. I see sort of doing that, and that one moves out of range, trying to draw them out of range to attack. Is it gonna work? I'm gonna give Imbar a wisdom save. Seems like the right thing. And I'm gonna give her advantage because she has like a trained adventurer warrior. I think they understand I think her and Ott would probably know not to leave the cover. That they're trying to be baited to pull out range. Yeah. And I'm gonna roll the DC. I think that's gonna be high enough. It's like a 19. So Imbar's gonna hold action for if this thing moves back into range, then she's gonna plug it. Delg, we'll see if Delg gets the memo. Delg also seems to get the memo. Oh, well, Imbar's holding action. It seems like Delg will hold action even though Delg can't really... Though Delg can't really do anything, actually. It's too far away for the sling. He could heal Leah. Yeah. So, actually, he's gonna move over. He's gonna dash again towards Leah, and then we're gonna use our thing on Leah. We're gonna use our healing pack on Leah, because, I mean, one bad hit could really take him out. Alright, so 9 points for Leah, so that's 23. And he's gonna stay in cover. Leah sees that, and we'll give Leah a wisdom save. Nope. She's like, oh, I got patched up. I think she tries to rally the troops in battle charge and try to take out this last one. So she flushes out of cover and charges at them. And she'll do a firebolt. And miss tragically. I don't know. Does anybody follow? I guess so. If she's going into the breach. I guess they follow the... I mean, they've got 4-on-1 advantage. No reason not really to follow suit. So Ott will move into range because the null fired, so they stayed within range, so we don't have to spend like dash movement or anything like that. Though I think Ott's going to use her bonus action to dash. So she's going to move the full 60, so she's going to cut it down to like 90 feet away and do another couple shots. As she sort of moves across the plane, both of those are going to hit. And she looks to end it probably really quickly. Well, that's only 9 hit points. But every hit also slows the target, which I hadn't been accounting for. So that null just took minus 20 to their speed. So I think she just like fires a couple into each leg as it's trying to sort of like maneuver, and it sort of stumbles a little bit. And it's its turn. Look, it probably can't get away. So here's the question: at this point, it's got basically 3 options. It's either going to fight to the death. It's either gonna try to run, probably unsuccessfully, and get cut down, or it's gonna try to surrender, which I don't know if gnolls do a lot of surrendering. So let's just ask: will this gnoll surrender? I think that's... Well, let's give him the... No, let's just make it... We'll ask the Oracle, is this gnoll going to surrender? -5. I don't think so. No, they don't. Alright. Does it... Now we'll do the morale check. Is it going to stay and fight? It is. Right. That's exactly what it needs to be, I believe. Yeah, its charisma is 8, because it's a humanoid. So, it's making its peace with its terrible god. And I think probably turns around, probably starts moving back towards Ott, but again, it's very slow, right? And we'll take a couple shots at her, because she's the closest one. Those are going to be 2 misses. I'm pretty sure Ott's AC is better than... Oh, no, Ott's AC would technically be 15. So, does get hit once, because we don't have cover anymore. Great. So she's going to get hit for 1. So she'll take 4 points of damage. Could be worse. As you see these 2 gnolls sort of like close the distance as one of them tries to... I don't know. Maybe it's a cultural sort of like Viking honor death, like to die on your feet and be killed by one of your own, right? Go down like a warrior, maybe? That'd be interesting. And the other ones are more cowards, right? This one's proving its worth to its profane god. Alright, well, it's Imbar. Imbar's in cover. She's going to pop up. She needs to move at this point to get within range with her bow, and she'll fire a shot. She'll hit. And this should maybe do it. 6, 7, 8. Technically, no. It's got 1 hit point. It gets slapped by another arrow from Imbar. This thing's doing its best Boromir impression at this point. Right? We're going to get some slow-mo Fellowship of the Ring action. As it's down to 1 hit point, and this thing's absolutely blasted with arrows at this point in fire. And it's still sort of like stumbling to one knee, kind of trying to like move its way closer to Ott to try to get 1 final strike in. Probably technically crawling at this point, I would think. Delg is too far away. Delg is technically an expert. So Delg will dash, which would be 60, which puts them within 90. Yeah, sure, I'll let them take the sling. A shot with the sling at disadvantage. It's still a 13, which I'm pretty sure still hits them. I think that's exactly what they needs to hit them. Yeah. And Delg, he sees Leah, do this incredibly stupid and brave thing, like flush out of cover and charge forward with a battle cry, and he gets whipped up into it too, and he follows suit after he watches Ott take off. And he's like, ah! He runs in and sees Imbar leave cover to shoot. And he runs in and runs as hard as he can. Eyes like half closed until he gets close enough, and then slings with a sling. And, I mean, we'll roll the damage, but it doesn't matter. He does max damage as things crawling towards Ott, snarling with its weapon. And then just a fist-sized rock just crushes in the eye socket, and it just flat on the ground and does not move except for death twitches. And yeah, Del gets the kill. He steals it. Man, this last Knoll got just pummeled. Just fire damage, tons, like a half dozen arrows sticking out of him, and a crushed in skull at this point. And it lays there twitching on the ground. And success. And we get it. Alright. Well, let's make a note real quick of sort of what happened. So we'll do this. Attacked while on board boats. Boats by Knoll Riders and final and let's say last remaining giant hyena. Now, here's the thing, so we've already proven that at least one of these people dropped quite a significant sum of money. So we're definitely going to loot these bodies. We're definitely, I mean, we need to take a short rest anyways, because that fight was tough. And if we get into another fight without having the ability for Delg to heal people, we're going to be in a world of trouble. So let's do our resource management. So Delg's healing kit is fine. I believe Ott and Imbar are down to D4 arrows, right? Yeah, okay. So, because we fired a lot of arrows. Okay. So Ott is down on arrows, and Imbar is fine. Okay, so what we're going to do is, so Ott was technically going to go down to only having one remaining arrow, which is not useful for her as a person with multi-attack, and is quite good with the bow. Certainly better than Imbar. And so what we're going to do is that we're going to just swap these. So she has one arrow. So they swap quivers, basically. Or, actually what she's going to do is she's actually going to go down to 0 arrows. We're going to make that, because it's sort of how it works, is this. It would be 1d4 plus the 1. So that's they're going to combine their arrows that remain, and give them totally to Ott. So Imbar's not going to have any ranged options. Unless she could ask Delg for his sling. Because technically she's better at using the sling than Delg is. I mean, that leaves Delg with not a lot of defensive options. Oh, actually these guys probably have arrows on them. So let's just ask, we're gonna do a, I mean, there was like 5 dudes. There are probably quite a few arrows still left. So let's take a look. Can we replenish any arrows? Would that have? So let me ask the question: would we have gotten enough arrows to replenish, not having to lose any arrows? Yes. Okay. So we're just gonna reset that because I forgot that we just had a fight with 5 creatures that also use longbows. So I'm just gonna say that they basically were able to gather enough arrows to basically keep them at where they were. Alright. So we'll retcon that just a little bit. And I'll technically use that as one of the treasure rolls. And so then we'll have 3 more treasure rolls. They're going to take the time, and we're going to have the short rest. And then that's probably where we're going to end it. So we'll end it with them basically launching the boats into the river and getting into the river. But they are going to take a short rest. Technically, we need to roll to see if anything interrupts them during that short rest. Fingers crossed, nothing does. But let's do the looting first. Let's do the looting first before we get ahead of ourselves. All right, 7. So we're gonna get 3 rolls basically instead of 4. So pocket contents. Second roll. Some sort of trade good. The last one. More pocket contents. All right. Let's do the trade good first. What type? What were they carrying with them? Books or writing supplies? Oh, that'd be very interesting. They have some sort of book with them? Some sort of tome, maybe? And what is the value of this thing? It's not great. Something worth only about 2 silver. So some sort of scrap or note that would be worth about 2 silver. So maybe that makes sense for it to be... Now, we said that maybe they've been chased down. Maybe, is this... So let's ask, is this note, this piece, this writing we find... Well, let's ask this. Is it writing or is it writing supply? Well, because that would be under pocket content. So this is writing supplies. So is it maybe some sort of like ritualistic paint? Maybe something like that. Ritualistic ink or paint, like a henna kind of thing, maybe. I think so. Or some sort of oil based, maybe like a shale oil based thing. Let's go with that. All right, so we'll do that. So we got a, let's see, it's like 2 silver, right? It's not ritual ink or oil sort of thing. Ritual, let's just say ritual ink. And then we had 2 pocket contents to see if there's a note of any type. 4 and 6. Oh no, they actually have, they open up like a little pot and it actually has some sort of like perfume kind of thing in it. Let's roll them. I just lost the word I was trying to think of. A smellable kind of thing. That's gonna bug me. Worth of, it's not like incense, it's a different word. But I can't think of what it is. I know I've got it written down, and I'll probably find it later. So let's just go with perfume. So they've got probably like a more of a musk kind of sense. Oh, that's a good question. Is it maybe like a like animal scent, like cover mask? Probably. Yeah. Of scent masking musk. So this is like from like deer or something like that, like a musk, like a hunter's musk gland, like urine or something that would sort of like cover your own scent when you're like hunting. So that kind of reinforces that this was probably a hunting party and not really a war party. And we had 1 more pocket contents. 3 and 5. 3 and 5. And what is that worth? So we find some jerky. Wow. And then we found a worth of, let's say jerk meat. Yeah, we can just say jerky, that's fine. Of let's say of dubious source. So it's 10 gold, so it's a pretty significant like chunk of jerky that they were clearly like sort of like their rations that they were carrying with them. So it's quite a bit, but we don't know. We'll say instead of source, dubious origin. But what kind of meat it is, we're not really sure. This could be people meat. We don't know. We don't know. We do know. I think Ott probably eyes that as something that you would probably want. That's it. So we'll take a short rest. All right, everybody get your fingers crossed. We're gonna check to see if anything happens during our short rest. Ooh, off by 1. That was very close. All right, so we are able to do a short rest. So we are able to take care of our short rest, which is going to get rid of the slow guy right here. She's at 23 or 27. I think we're going to stay with that. I don't think we're going to try to update hers. Delg's going to spend some hit dice because he did not spend any hit dice before. So he's going to spend at least 2 because we'll always get those back. 15 plus... Does he have any bonus? Yeah, alright, so he gets... Wow, 17 back. So that would be... He said... That's at full, right? He's back to full because we rolled really well. Alright. And he's down 2 hit dice. So, Delg's looking great. Ott needs to spend some hit dice. And so she'll spend 2 hit dice for sure. $11. I believe that's 13, right? Yeah. So she's up to 26, which is not great, and we'd like for it to be higher, but I also don't want to spend too much time. We're trying to avoid fighting, I think, at this point. Right? It's not going to do anything for us, especially with Gimbal sort of hanging out in the eaves. We're going to try to probably avoid most fights from here on. Inbar, I think, is fine. I don't think she's going to spend any hit dice. And she'll be fine. Okay. That's it. So, technically, we did. I thought we were going to make it all the way back. We could have made it all the way back, but we didn't make it very far at all. That's the problem. So we could technically run up here and... We could make a run directly to the water, which might save us from the extra way around. If we did that, if we bypassed the river and just ran straight for the coast of the oasis, right for the shoreline. Oh, I do need to roll the d10 for Gimbal. Okay, good. Gimbal did not show up. That's good. Oh, I didn't check. Did we run into a point of interest? Probably not. No. Okay. So what are we going to do? Where are we going to go? One, two, three, 4. So if we went straight, that's going to save us 1, 2, 3. It's going to save us 3 hexes if we run straight. So I think that's... Yeah. Well, let me ask this. Let me ask the question. Is there a quick way... Can we see an immediate way to... Well, I guess it doesn't really matter. I was going to say for us to ford the river, but technically we have boats. We could just get in the boats and ride them across to the other bank. That's really not going to take us very much effort. So yeah, I think we're going to make a run straight for the coast. And the question is do we want to keep going? I don't think so. I really hate to kind of leave us just kind of there, but let's just do that. So we'll say short rest, and that'll let us know where we are. So I think that's where we're going to cut it off for this session with that. So we didn't really learn much more about the gnolls. There's still technically a gnoll running around out there. Injured and alone basically at this point after we've cleaved through the rest of their entire hunting, scavenging, scouting party, whatever you want to call it. It's clearly not a war party. But we've cut through them pretty easily. Well, not easily, but we've cut through them. So we still need to get back to Split Valley Oasis. Our best shot of doing it in this one day is by taking the most direct route. It's the only way we're potentially going to get it done. I think if we take the river down, that's an extra 3 hexes. There's no way we're going to make it. And the more time we waste out here, the more likely we are to run into Gimbal, which we don't want to do, especially because we're not in the greatest fighting capacity right now. In case that does turn into sort of like a violent conflict, a violent meeting. So I think we're gonna take the short rest, and then they're going to go across the river. They're going to beeline it for the shoreline of the oasis. They're going to hop in their boats, take it across the lake, get the Split Valley Oasis, and take those things there. So I was kind of hoping to get more, technically more accomplished in this in this session, but that's what happens when you start with a large combat and then you have another pretty substantial combat after that. So yeah, I think that's it. Next week I think we're gonna do some hex mapping stuff. I'm not sure. I think we're gonna talk about that. So make sure to tune in same bat channel, same bat time. We're gonna do this next week. Of course, we'll have the VOD up on YouTube later sometime this week, assuming that YouTube does not screw me over like it did last week, where I got halfway through uploading a video and Windows screwed me, sorry. And Windows decided, we're just going to update right now, and then shut down my computer in the middle of a video upload, which was fun. So that's what we'll do next time. Of course, if you guys have any questions about anything, we've got a relatively new blog up on the website. That's reddragonfiend.com. Check that out. If you want to support the channel, like, subscribe, and share, obviously, for the channel on YouTube. Other things, you can follow me over on Twitter. Everything's at reddragonfiend. If you want to support monetarily, we have DriveThruRPG store, and that's got some pay what you want things, so you can pick things up for free. See some of the resources I use here. You can pick some of those up for free, or if you want to have the ability to support with a little money, that's always nice. Or you can go straight to their Ko-fi, ko-fi.com/reddragonfiend, and you can do a one-time gift or recurring Patreon style, $1 a month or however much, if you want to do that. But that's going to be it for me. This is always fun. Thanks for coming along with me, you guys. It definitely got way off the rails real quick. What happens and what sort of ins and outs and weaving ways it takes. But I'll see you guys next time. All right? Bye.